There was one woman in a small village outside Ibadan who could cook like nobody's business. If Mama Bisi entered your kitchen, even ordinary yam would start smelling like wedding food. She could dance at every celebration until the young girls became ashamed of themselves. She could fix a broken stool, patch a torn wrapper, help deliver a baby goat, and still have energy to pound yam before sunset. And if anybody came to her door needing help, Marabisi would never send them away empty-handed. But there was one thing, just one thing that Mama Bisi simply could not do. She could not keep a secret. Her mouth was like the village bell. Once something entered it, everybody must hear the sound. And in that village, if you told Mama Bisi something at breakfast, don't be surprised if the whole village knew before lunch. The funny thing was, Mama Bisi never believed she was gossiping. Every time someone said, Mama Bisi, please don't tell anybody, she would place one hand on her chest and say, Ah, me? Do I look like someone that talks too much? Don't worry, your secret is safe with me. 5 minutes later, she would be standing beside another woman near the well, saying, But don't say I told you all. That was Mama Bisi for you. In fact, she had a very good heart. If someone was sick, Mama Bisi would cook soup and carry it to their house. If someone had a new baby, she would be the first to arrive with hot pap. If someone's child needed some school sandals, she would contribute money before anybody else. Everybody loved her, but everybody also feared her mouth. Because Mama Bisi's mouth could turn one small whisper into a village meeting. One day, Mama Kemi's son came home with poor marks from school. The boy had failed mathematics badly. Mama Kemi was ashamed and begged Mama Bisi, please don't mention this outside. His father will handle it quietly. Mama Bisi nodded seriously. My sister, children fail today and pass tomorrow. I will not fear anything. By evening, the women at the well were saying, have you heard? Mama Kemi's son did not just fail math. They said he wrote the name wrongly too. The next morning, someone added, I heard the teacher even asked if he was keeping in class. By afternoon, the poor boy could not even pass near the market without people asking him to count tomatoes. Another time, Baba Shola harvested yams from his farm. The harvest was not bad, but it was smaller than last year. He measured it casually to Mama Bisi while she helped him carry one basket. Rain did not favor us this season, he said. Mama Bisi sighed. Sorry, God will provide. By evening, people were saying Baba Shola's farm failed completely. By the next day, somebody said he may have to sell his goods. By the third day, one woman whispered, I heard hunger has entered their house. Meanwhile, Baba Shola was eating pounded yam comfortably in his compound. There was the bride price story. A young woman named Tola was preparing to marry a man from the next village. Nobody knew the full bride price arrangement except the two families. But somehow, Malabisi heard that the groom's family brought 6 crates of soft drinks, 2 goats, and some money. That evening, she told only one person, only one. By the weekend, the story had become that Tola's bride price was so high that the groom's family almost fainted. Somebody even added that one uncle removed his cap and begged for discount. When Tola heard it, she cried. Mama Bisi felt bad, but still she said what she always said. I only told one person. That was her excuse. She never saw herself as the fire. She only saw herself as the matchstick. But one day, that same mouth brought trouble to her own doorstep. And that was the day Mama Bisi, the village gossip, became the talk of the village. It happened on a quiet evening. After a farm walk, the sun was low. The footpath near the stream was still damp from the rain that had fallen the night before. Mama Bisi was returning from Mama Ronke's house, carried a small basket of pepper and dried fish. She was humming to herself when she heard a loud cry. My leg! Mama Bisi stopped. She looked toward the stream. Who is there? Another groan came. Help me, oh! She rushed down the path and saw Baba Tunde on the ground. His sack of cassava had burst open. Cassava was scattered everywhere. One leg was stretched upwardly in front of him and his face was twisted with pain. Baba Tunde, Mama Bisi shouted. What happened? I slipped, he said, breathing hard. This ground is too wet. Mama Bisi jumped her basket and bent down. Can you stand? I don't know. She helped him sit up. His ankle was already swelling. Ah, this one is serious, so she said. Babatunde looked worried. My wife traveled to see her sick sister. Nobody is at home. Then we must get you home first. She gathered the scattered cassava back into the sack. The sack was too heavy, so she divided some into her own basket. Then slowly, with Babatunde leaning on a stick, Mama Bisi helped him walk back towards his compound. They did not laugh, they did not joke, there was nothing secret about it. It was just one neighbor helping another. But as they passed the bend near the palm tree, someone saw them. It was Yatope, who had gone to fetch water. She hid behind the plantain leaves and watched. Mama Bisi was holding Babatunde's arm. Babatunde was limping. They entered his compound. Iyatope's eyes widened. That was all she said. But in a village like that, was enough to start a storm. By the next morning, Iyatope told Mama Shade at the well, I saw Mama Bisi and Babatunde yesterday evening. Mama Shade leaned closer. Where? Near the stream? What were they doing? I don't know, but she was holding his arm. Mama Shade's mouth opened. His arm? Yes, maybe he fell. That one I don't know, I only know what I saw. By the time Mama Shade reached her vegetable store, the story had changed a little. She told Lati. They said Mama Bisi and Babatunde were walking together near the stream in the evening. Lati frowned. Evening? Yes, so when decent people are already inside. But Babatunde's wife traveled, Abi? Mama Shade paused. That is true. Lati shook her head slowly. From Lati, the story moved to the akara seller. The akara seller added pepper. Not real pepper, malt pepper. She said, I heard Mama Bisi followed Babatunde home when his wife was not around. By noon, a young man buying akara heard it and carried it to the palm wine joint. At the palm wine joint, men liked news even more than palm wine, though they would never admit it. One man said, Mama Bisi, impossible. Another said, why impossible? Is she not a woman? Another tapped the table. I heard she entered the compound and stayed long. Nobody knew who heard that one. Nobody asked. By evening, children were singing nonsense near the stream. Mama Bisi and Babatunde walking slowly under the tree. Nobody even knew what it meant, but children don't need meaning before they start thinking. By market day, the story had grown teeth, tail, and two horns. Now people were saying Mama Bisi had been secretly meeting Babatunde. Some said she cooked for him. Some said he'd bought her a new wrapper. One woman even said she had always suspected that because Mama Bisi laughed too loudly at Babatunde's jokes during the last naming ceremony. That was how gossip worked in that village. It did not need proof, it only needed movement. And on market day, movement was plenty. Market day was always the loudest day in the village. Before sunrise, women had already started packing baskets. The air smelled of firewood smoke, roasted corn, hot akara, pepper, dried fish, and fresh tomatoes. Goats wandered around like they owned the place. Children ran the two stalls. Women shouted from every corner, fresh pepper, fine tomatoes, come and buy your onions. The market was not just a place to buy food. It was where people bought news too. And if Mama Bisi was there, you usually heard everything before you got home. That morning, Mama Bisi tied her wrapper, picked up her basket, and left her compound in a good mood. She greeted the akara seller. She greeted the old man under the mango tree. She even stopped to help Mama Shade lift a basin of vegetables. But as she entered the middle of the market, something changed. The noise did not stop, but it became smaller. It became softer and very strange. Two women had been laughing, suddenly became quiet. One tapped another and pointed with her lips. Another bent down and pretended to arrange tomatoes that were already arranged. Mama Bisi slowed down. She walked to Mama Shade's door. My sister, good morning. Mama Shade did not smile. Morning. Just morning. No gist, no laughter. No come and hear what's happened. Mama Bisi blinked. Shade, what happened? Nothing. Nothing. Since when did you start greeting me like a tax collector? Mama Shade forced a smile. I am busy. Mama Bisi looked around. Then she heard it. Soft but clear. That is her. Mama Bisi turned around. The woman immediately started talking about onions. My sisters, Mama Bisi said, what are people saying? Nothing more. We were just talking about onions. You were talking about onions while looking at my face? Nobody answered. And there is nothing more painful for a gossip than knowing there is a gossip and nobody wants to give it to you. Everywhere Mama Bisi passed, people whispered. Some looked at her with pity. Others shook their heads. That hurts more than anything. Mama Bisi bought no pepper, no tomatoes, no onions. She just walked through the market like a woman hearing her own funeral announcements. Finally, she found Mama Ronke. Mama Ronke was the oldest woman in the market. Her tomatoes were always fresh. Her words were always few. People said Mama Ronke had seen enough of life to know that once words left your mouth, they never truly came back. Mama Bisi stood in front of her stall. Mama Ronke, please tell me the truth. What are people saying? Mama Ronke sighed. Bisi, go home. No, I won't leave until somebody tells me. Mama Rocket looked at her for a long moment. Then she lowered her voice. People are saying you and Babatunde have been meeting secretly. Mama Bisi almost dropped her basket. Nee? Mama Rocket nodded. And Babatunde? Yes. And Maba Woman's husband? Mama Rocket did not answer. Mama Bisi laughed, not because it was funny, because the story was just too ridiculous. Me, Fikone Miti Babatunde. Ah! People have finally gone mad. Mama Rocket looked at her sadly. Bisi, whether it is true or not, it is already everywhere. Mama Bisi's mouth opened, but no words came out. For the first time in many years, Mama Bisi did not want to talk. She left the market without buying a single thing. By the time she reached home, her hands were shaking. She sat on the wooden chair in front of her house and stared at nothing. A neighbor passed. Mama Bisi expected a greeting. The woman only nodded and walked faster. The small thing cut her deeply. So this is how it feels, she thought, to be seen but not believed. That evening, Mama Tunde came to her gate. Her eyes were red. Her wrapper was tied carelessly like someone who had cried until dressing properly no longer mattered. Mama Bisi stood up quickly. My sister, please, Mama Tunde said coldly. You will not call me your sister. Mama Bisi swallowed. It is a lie. That is what everybody says, Mama Bisi froze. Those words sounded familiar. She had said them herself many times about other people. Your husband slept near the stream, Mama Bisi said. I only helped him carry his cassava home. That is all. Mama Tunde's lips trembled. Then why did I hear it from the market? Mama Bisi had no answer. Mama Tunde shook her head. I don't even know what to believe. That is the painful part. Then she turned and walked away. That night, Mama Bisi did not sleep. She lay on her mat, staring into the darkness. Every footstep sounded like someone coming to accuse her. She remembered Mama Keremi's son. She remembered Tola cried over the bride price story. She remembered all the people who had once stood before her and said, Mama Bisi, that is not what happened. And what did she always say? I only told one person. I didn't mean harm. I was just talking. Now she finally understood. Just talking could still wound somebody. By the next morning, the rumor had grown even bigger. The more Mama Bisi delighted, the more people whispered. Some said, if it is not true, why is she defending herself so much? Others said, where there is smoke, there is fire. But sometimes there is smoke because somebody is burning another person's name. Babatunde took his walking stick and went to Chief Ade's house. Chief Ade was the village head. He was a calm man with a deep voice and a white beard that made children behave even before he spoke. Babatunde stood before him and said, Chief, my name is being dragged around this village. My wife is crying. Mama Bisi is crying, and nobody can say exactly what they saw. Chief Ade listened quietly, then he sent word around the village. By evening, everybody gathered beneath the big mango tree. Men sat on benches, women stood in small groups, children climbed roots and stones to see better. Mama Bisi sat quietly with her hands folded in her lap. For once, she did not move from group to group collecting stories. Chief Ade raised his hand. The village became quietly. My people, he began. One story has divided this village. Today, we will not ask what you heard. We will ask what you saw. Chief Ade looked around. Who here saw Mama Bisi do anything wrong? Nobody moved. The silence became uncomfortable. Finally, Iyatope stood up slowly. Her voice was small. I saw Mama Bisi helping Babatunde near the stream. Chief Ade nodded. What else did you see? She was holding his arm. Why was she holding his arm? Iyatope looked down. I don't know. Babatunde lifted his walking stick. Because I had fallen. Chief Ade turned back to Iyatope. Did you see them laughing? No. Did you see anything shameful? No. Did you see them hide? No. What did you see? Iyatope swallowed. I saw her helping him. Chief Ade nodded slowly. Then Mama Shade stood. I heard she followed him home. Chief Ade looked at her. From who? Mama Shade pointed at Iyatope. Iyatope quickly said, I did not say it like that, oh. Then Baba Shola stood up. He was the farmer whose harvest story Mama Bisi had once spread. He cleared his throat. Chief, today is Mama Bisi's dawn, but many of us have suffered from her mouth. People murmured. Mama Bisi bowed her head down. Baba Shola continued. When my yam harvest was small, people said hunger had entered my house. It was not true, but for weeks people looked at me with pity. Mama Temi stood too. My son failed one test, just one test. Before evening, people said he could not spell his own name. Some people laughed softly. Mama Temi turned sharply. It was not funny then. The laughter died. Then Tola, the young bird, stood beside her mother. My marriage almost had trouble because people were having things to our bride price story. I cried for 2 days. One by one, the truth started coming out, not just about Mama Bisi, about all of them. Because Mama Bisi have carried many stories, but the village helped her to spread them. I didn't let the silence sit for a while. Then he looked at Mama Bisi. You are hurting today because people believe the story before asking you the truth. Mama Bisi's eyes filled with tears. Ade continued. Now you know how many people have felt before. For the first time in her life, Mama Bisi had no defense, no joke, no excuse. She stood slowly. My people, she said, her voice shaking. I am ashamed. The village was quiet. I used to think if I told one person, it was not my fault what happened after. I used to think because I did not mean harm, then no harm was done. She wiped her eyes. But today, I had heard my own name in people's mouths. I had watched people look at me like they know me better than I know myself. Now I understand. She turned to Mama Tunde. My sister, I am truly sorry. What people said is not true. But I am sorry that my actions in the past made it easy for people to believe the worst. Mama Tunde looked at her. Her face softened, but the pain was still there. Mama Bisi faced the whole village, and to everyone whose story I've ever carried, forgive me. Nobody laughed, because many of them were guilty too. Baba Tunde stepped forward. I fell near the stream. Mama Bisi helped me, that is all. He turned to his wife, and I should have told you myself before strangers did. Mama Tunde nodded slowly. Chief Ade raised his hand again. Let this matter end today. Then he looked around the village and let everybody remember bliss. If you do not see it, be careful how you repeat it. If it is not your story, be careful how you carry it. A mouth can be small, but the damage it does can be bigger than a farm. The meeting ended. People left quietly, not because there was nothing to say, but because everybody suddenly feared their own mouths. Week passed, the village returned to normal. The market became noisy again. Children ran through the dusty paths. Women argued over pepper prices. Men gathered under the mango tree, but Mama Bisi changed. At first, people did not believe it. One morning, Mama Shade came running to her shop, eyes shining. Mama Bisi, Mama Bisi. Mama Bisi looked up. I have gist. Mama Bisi smiled. Is it your own gist? Mama Shade paused. No. Then carry it back to the owner. Mama Shade laughed loudly. So you have changed. Mama Bisi snarled. My sister, some lessons are expensive. Another day, a young woman came to Mama Bisi's house crying. She wanted to explain a fight she had with her husband's family. Before she could start, Mama Bisi raised her hand gently. My daughter, if you need advice, I will listen. If you need help, I will help. But if you only want to give me something to carry around the village, please don't give it to me. From that day, whenever someone said, please don't tell anybody, Mama Bisi would smile and reply, if it is not your story, let the owner tell it. Slowly, people started trusting her again, not because she never made mistakes before, but because she allowed her mistakes to teach her. And the village learned too. The market still had noise, people still talked, but whenever gossip began to grow too fast, someone would say, "Remember Mama Bisi?" and everybody would laugh. Then they would lower their voices because some lessons come softly, some lessons come with tears, and some lessons come when the safe mouth that carried other people's stories finally hears its own name being carried around. That was how Mama Bisi, the village gossip, became the top of the village, and that was how she learned that words may leave the mouth quickly, but they can live in people's hearts for a very long time. Some lessons are very expensive. And that is where today's village story comes to an end. If you enjoyed listening to this story, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the Village Stories Africa, and share this story with someone who loves a good African tale. We share brand new village stories every Tuesday and Saturday, so be sure to join us for the next one.